Hello everyone, this is Science Minds and you're watching the audiovisual chapter of Class 11th Biology. This is the fourth part of the chapter 3 Plant Kingdom and we are starting off with the angiosperms. Unlike the gymnosperms where the ovules are naked, in the angiosperms or flowering plants, the pollen grains and ovules are developed in specialized structures called flowers. In angiosperms, the seeds are enclosed in fruits. The angiosperms are an exceptionally large group of plants occurring in wide range of habitats. They range in size from the smallest wolffia to tallest trees of eucalyptus, over 100 meters. They provide us with food, fodder, fuel, medicines and several other commercially important products. They are divided into two classes, the dicotyledons and the monocotyledons. Figure 3.5. Let us look at that as well. So this is figure 3.5. A diagram is a dicotyledon example and B is a monocotyledon example. Let's get back to the paragraph. The dicotyledons are characterized by seeds having two cotyledons, reticulate venations in the leaves, and tetramerous or pentamerous flowers, that is having 4 or 5 members in each floral holes. The monocotyledons, on the other hand, are characterized by a single cotyledonous seed, parallel venation in the leaves, and trimerous flowers having 3 members in each floral holes. The male sex organ in a flower is the stamen. Each stamen consists of a slender filament with an anther at the tip. Within the anthers, the pollen mother cell divide by meiosis to produce microspores, which matures into pollen grains. The female sex organ in a flower is the pistil. Pistil consists of a swollen ovary at its base, a long slender style and stigma. Inside the ovary, ovules are present. Generally, each ovule has a megaspore mother cell that undergoes meiosis to form 4 haploid megaspores. 3 of them degenerate and 1 divide to form the embryo sac. Each embryo sac has a 3-celled egg apparatus, 1 egg cell and 2 synergids, 3 antipodal cells and 2 polar nuclei. The polar nuclei eventually fuse to produce a diploid secondary nucleus. Pollen grain after dispersal from the anthers are carried by wind or various other agencies to the stigma of a pistil. This is termed as pollination. The pollen grains germinate on the stigma and the resulting pollen tubes grow through the tissue of stigma and style and reach the ovule. The pollen tubes enter the embryo sac, where 2 male gametes are discharged. One of the male gametes fuses with the egg cell or syngamy to form a zygote. The other male gamete fuses with the diploid secondary nucleus to produce the triploid primary endosperm nucleus, or PEN. Because of the occurrence of two fusions, that is syngamy and triple fusion, this event is termed as double fertilization, an event unique to angiosperms. The zygote develops into an embryo with 1 or 2 cotyledons, and the PEN develops into endosperm, which provides nourishment to the developing embryo. The synergids and antipodals degenerate after fertilization. During these events, the ovules develop into seeds and the ovaries develop into the fruit. The life cycle of an angiosperm is shown in figure 3.6. Let us look at that as well. Life cycle of an angiosperm. So what is there? There is an angiosperm plant which is bearing a male part in the flower and the female part in the flower, which is having anther and filament as a male part, stigma, style and ovary in the female part. So what happens? The anther forms the microspore and the ovary changes into the ovule or the megasporangium, and then the fusion of gametes occur in the egg and form the zygote, which forms into the embryo, and the embryo again forms into the sporophyte. So the gametophytic generation is starting from the microspore and the egg, okay, and ending by the zygote formation. Mostly the life cycle is sporophytic in this condition. Now 3.6, which is plant life cycles and alternation of generation. In plants, both haploid and diploid cells can divide by mitosis. This ability leads to the formation of a different plant bodies, haploid and diploid. The haploid plant body produces gametes by mitosis. This plant body represents a gametophyte. Following fertilization, the zygote also divides by mitosis to produce a diploid sporophytic plant body. Haploid spores are produced by this plant body by meiosis. These in turn divide by mitosis to form a haploid plant body once again. Thus, during the life cycle of any sexually reproducing plant, there is an alternation of generations between gamete producing haploid gametophyte and spore producing diploid sporophyte. However, different plant groups, as well as individuals representing them, differ in following patterns. First is sporophytic generation is represented only by one-celled zygote. There are no free-living sporophytes. Meiosis in the zygote results in the formation of a haploid spores. The haploid spores divide mitotically and form the gametophyte. The dominant photosynthetic phase in such plants is the free-living gametophyte. This kind of life cycle is termed as haplontic. Many algae such as Volvox, Spirogyra and some species of Chlamydomonas represents this pattern. On the other extreme is the type wherein the diploid sporophyte is the dominant photosynthetic independent phase of the plant. The gametophytic phase is represented by the single cell to few celled haploid gametophyte. This kind of life cycle is termed as diplontic. An algae Fucus represents this pattern. In addition, all seed-bearing plants, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms, follow this pattern with some variations wherein the gametophytic phase is few to multicelled. Third is bryophytes and pteridophytes. Interestingly, exhibit an intermediate condition, haplodiplontic. Both phases are multicellular. However, they differ in their dominant phases. A dominant independent photosynthetic thyroid or erect phase is represented by haploid gametophyte, and it alternates with the short-lived multicellular sporophyte, totally or partially dependent on the gametophyte for its anchorage and nutrition. All bryophytes represent this pattern. The diploid sporophyte is represented by a dominant independent photosynthetic vascular plant body. It alternates with multicellular sporophytic or autotrophic independent but short-lived haploid gametophyte. Such a pattern is known as haplodiplontic life cycle. All pteridophytes exhibit this pattern. Interestingly, while most algal genera are haplontic, some of them such as Ectocarpus, Polysiphonia, kelps are haplodiplontic. Fucus and algae is diplontic. So here comes the end of the fourth part of chapter 3, Plant Kingdom of class 11th Biology. To watch more such videos, do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any video. And if you want us to create more such videos on any other book or subject, do mention in the comment section. Like and share the video to keep us motivated to create such content. Thank you for watching the video. Bye bye. Love.